GSL 시즌2 코데스.
What's up, guys? We're back here at the GSL Code S, and we are about to eliminate our first player from Group A.
Indeed, it will be one of our Zerg players, Lucira or Impact. Hard to say exactly who will take this. ZVZ can be a crazy matchup. Impact has had great results recently in ZVZ. Still leaning towards him. Still think he can come back and make my dreams come true. Possibly 2-0 SOS in that final match. Redeem me.
Thing is, Lucira is actually quite good at ZVZ. So
He is.
There's a chance Lucira can win here. I do not know how either of these guys is going to beat SOS. I certainly agree with you, Artosis, that I think Impact has a higher chance to beat SOS. You know,
Lucira's having a hard time
basically
for sure.
He's like on the very edge. If we took like the best player in the world and put him in the middle of a circle, then we had the other players just around that, like the round of 4s, the round of 8s. Lucira's on the very edge of that circle.
Yeah.
He is good enough to be in the top 32, but it is not clear that he is good enough to be in the top 16. That's like basically exactly where he's floating.
He is absolutely not one of the 16 best players in the world right now. But yeah, I basically agree with your assessment.
But he absolutely is the best 32 in the world.
Yeah, like he always hits the round of 32. So Impact, on the other hand, like this kid he's on fire, man. I'm taking him. He's got it.
All right, guys, let's go into our losers match. A ZVZ with Lucira versus Impact. In the bottom right, in the blue, he is
Lucira.
in the bottom left, in the red, he is
Dead Pixels. Impact.
Impact needs bigger glasses. That's the only thing I can think looking at that picture of him. Like, what if you had glasses so that your chin could see better? Would that help?
Okay, they're both doing mirror builds so far. Roughly same time on the hatch, same time on the extractor. Just one drone difference.
Ooh. So the lead, you say, goes to our red player.
And we'll just have to see if either player decides to be aggressive here or if we're going to have more of a macro game.
Well, eventually someone's going to make more lings than the other guy, and that's when we get excited.
That's
like,
when that's when we have stuff to talk about.
10 lings in production. I think he's going to poke Tasteless.
Well, let's see if he actually does that, Artie. It's good to be back here doing Code S.
Yeah.
I missed it.
Code S is just the greatest show on earth.
So, Artie.
Yes.
What's been going on in your life, man?
Just a busy bee, you know?
Yeah.
Having a good time, watching VODs and king with the little girl and walking my dog.
Hanging with the kid, walking the dog.
Yeah, you know.
We've actually mostly just been casting a lot, actually.
Yeah,
lately.
lots of work. Lots of work.
So we've been doing the ASL, which used to be on this channel but is not right now. But definitely, if you want to watch some StarCraft 1, StarCraft Remastered is around the corner. You want to get ahead of the curve. You can watch the very best players currently in Brood War duking it out. All the big names are still there.
Yeah, it's super fun, and we'll be having another episode on Sunday. So we'll remind you again on Saturday. Don't worry about that.
That's
you can
right.
Count on us to
definitely
pump our own shows.
Yeah. So yeah, mark that in your calendar, guys. Every Sunday and Tuesday.
10 lings!
Oh, it's
Production
time!
10 lings!
But there's 8 lings
It's
over here for
Lucira.
the red player.
I think he's going to poke Tasteless.
Well, with a Baneling nest over here as well.
Yeah. No Baneling Nest on the other side for Impact. And he's taking a third base. Is this too greedy? I would say yes, it is too greedy.
I think he's going to be in a little bit of trouble.
I think
There's
this-
more lings being pumped out, though, now here for Impact. Bear in mind, if Lucira doesn't do a lot of damage with a rush like this, it's going to be a very clear advantage here for Impact, who's just going to have a stronger economic engine.
With these Banelings coming out, and they're kind of well hidden as well. Oh, my God, he's searching for them. He's like, are there Banelings up here?
He just missed him. Ling speed's done.
Ooh, this is going to be hard to hold without his own Banelings.
Yeah, he doesn't even have all of his own Lings back over here. Lucera now running through this. He wants to try to draw all these
my
Banelings into the Mainling army.
Baneling.
Mainling.
Oh, God, that was an actual very good connection, the first Baneling there from Lucera.
So far, so good here, though. He just needs to get rid of that one last Baneling, and now it's just pure Ling versus pure Ling. Both sides are still macroing out a lot of Zerglings. It seems, though, for the time being, that this third hatchery is going to be completely fine.
It is. He's down 7 drones, though, because he's had to make so many Zerglings to hold on against Ling Bane, so I kind of like where Lucera is going with this at the moment. He's making his own third base. The layer is going to be a lot quicker here, though, for Impact.
Okay.
It just now starts his Baneling nest.
Okay, you can see Impact coming in here now. Ooh. So far, so good with the trades for the Lings into the Banelings. He's got to be careful, though. Lucera is not slowing down with the amount of Banelings he's producing at this rate. He's trying to catch up, Lucera is, by trying to take a third base of his own. He knows the Banelings can be as good in defense as they are in offense. And we have a Roach Warren now coming up here for Lucera as well.
Mm-hmm. So he definitely wants to switch his tech up a little bit, but more Lings on the way for Impact. Also, that Baneling nest is going to finish up, so he can continue on this aggression. He does have more larvae at the moment, and that is a big deal.
He's looping around here now, checking the progress of the hatchery. He then goes ahead and tries to go. Oh, that was a misclick there by Impact.
Yeah, that was kind of brutal. Especially considering that Lucera droned pretty heavily. You got 8 extra drones just recently, so to lose a bunch of Lings suddenly, this is the one time where you might be able to actually punish what Lucera is up to.
Yeah, one Baneling coming down here to try to connect with the majority of these. Oh my God, he didn't catch these Banelings!
Now he did. He's going to bruise a bunch of
still hitting
drones.
this hatchery, though.
Yeah.
Banelings are actually coming right up on into the main to try to connect with the Lings.
Is he going to kill the hatch?
I think he's going to get this hatchery 100%.
He
the Roaches
might.
are not going to be able to stop this in time.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
He's got
going to jump on top of the... He flirted with the idea of just trying to kill the Roaches and realizes it's too much of a big win if he just takes that out right there. The Roach Warren, by the way, just about to finish here for Impact, so he can actually match the Roaches here of Lucera.
All Impact needs to do is make a ton of Roaches at the moment. This is one moment where Lucera could get something done if he brings a bunch of Roaches and maybe a few Banes to make sure that the Lings aren't really that effective. Maybe he can pick off this third base.
Surrounding this Queen, another nice kill. Impact is everywhere. I mean, even though he had 1 or 2 misplays where he lost some of those Lings to a bad Baneling exchange, overall he's coming out on top. He just seems to be a little bit faster than Lucera is in this matchup.
And Lucera's not really getting anything done. He's going to a layer quite a bit later here, unless it was canceled from Impact, because he started one quite a while ago. He's getting the +1 attack, so that's nice. But he's down that hatchery. And that is a huge issue. Even with the same amount of drones, it's like he just doesn't have the same production.
Oh, he's going to try to slip in here. The drones are now being evacuated.
Good try.
Okay, well, that actually, if he can get in there later on, that's a lot of injured drones.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure if it'll play a role in this game, but just something to keep in mind in case we do see him try to counter in there with some more Lings. 8 more Roaches coming out right now. The supplies are pretty much even. Impact with a little bit more workers, but not enough to really, say that he's got a substantial lead here. The most important factor is that Lucera has not been mining from a third base for the same amount of time as his opponent, Impact.
And it looks like he did, in fact, cancel that layer that he was making. So he's put all this money into Roaches. He's attacking across now. Lucera has the Roach speed on the way and +1 range. So over time, he can definitely get a better army. But this is pretty big coming out of his opponent.
Big connect here. 6 drones go down right before the battle starts up.
Really nice move there.
Oh my God!
Hit the hatch.
Yeah, that's well, the thing is, if these Roaches stay at this angle, they are just going to kill this hatchery.
Mm-hmm.
That's really the whole point of this attack. Yeah, there's nothing he can do. He's going to lose the hatchery for the second time, and this is not 2011 where Lucera always lost a hatchery in a game and then won.
Yeah. There certainly was a time where he was quite good at that, but mostly against bunker rushes.
It was a different time, a different place.
He's going to have +1, though, and speed, and Roach speed makes a huge difference in Roach on Roach. So are we going to see Impact back up? I feel like he needs to get back to his own base and just allow his bigger rallies to help out. He's got a lot of his army supply in Lings and Banes right now, which aren't going to fare that well against +1 speed Roaches.
Okay, he's coming forward now. Looks like these Roaches are going to have to back up a little bit. There's just a huge problem right now here for Lucera. He's getting behind in every sense, minus these upgrades. But, I mean, is he going to be able to take out the third base here for Impact? I don't think so. Let's see. I mean, there's a lot of Banelings.
He's got a ton of roaches, and
Yeah.
speed is done, so that definitely does help
40,
out.
42, man. That's a lot to the 24.
Yeah.
The thing is, countering is so strong.
Yeah, he's just this is Impact really kind of playing like loose, and if he can threaten counterattacks nonstop, then this can, force Lucira to stay back a little bit and let him catch up.
Slowly driving this Overlord out. The Lings are still in the north over here for Impact. Waiting to see, if any of these roaches do try to leave, that's when he's going to come in here. And he's actually fished out the Queen, so he's going to get a kill here and escape without really losing much of anything.
Second time he's done that this game against a Queen chasing down an Overlord.
2 Queens and then 2 hatches.
This is a really interesting game because killing this third hatch twice and still Lucira's in the game. He's actually got like superior upgrades, in fact. Kind of cool to see how Lucira is dealing with all this.
I believe it does press Lucira to try to... He has to get something done here. Because eventually Impact can try to get ahead. And even if the third time the hatchery comes up here at the third base, there is, of course, a choice for Impact to just try to expand to the upper left.
Well, as we get up to higher supplies, like we already see a decent amount of Ravagers coming out, but are these guys going to just stay on Roach Tech? I wouldn't be too surprised, but then you have the scary part where someone might throw down a Spire, right? And you can't really notice that you have so many Roaches out there that missing amount of money for a Spire is quite hard to actually spot. And if someone gets a bunch of Mutas out and you have Roach Ravager, you might just die.
You're going to have a bad time.
Yeah.
Oh, good job. Oh,
Ooh.
nice.
Yeah, that
Get
was
in
really
right
good.
when they come out there. These Lings actually getting some good surrounds here on these Roaches, and then when the rest of the Roaches come up, he just makes a beeline into the main. This could make the third vulnerable again.
Oh my God, if he gets that third base even and third time.
This is like a fairy tale where everything comes in threes, Artosis. He's actually now backing up, so it looks like he decided not to jump on top of the hatchery.
A big move out right now from Lucira, finally trying to press this advantage in Roach numbers. It's not that big at the moment, but he does have +2, I believe.
Yeah, some of these Corrosive Biles connecting. He's trying to come forward. Some of these Banelings getting gunned down right before they can really connect with those Roaches. Lucira is committing.
Really pushing forward at the moment. More Ravagers for Impact, throwing down a lot of Biles. And a lot of these Biles are connecting, but not really killing off that back row quite yet. Still, Lucira pushing forward, but he's very close to the rally points of his opponent. Starting to pick off some Ravagers. That's a big deal.
I believe there's some Lings that actually countered over there into the natural of Lucira, but we haven't gotten a shot of it just yet. And it seems like as time passes, this army's slowly getting gnawed away at, and Lucira doesn't seem to be able to get anything done.
No, not able to break through at this moment. They're still very, very even. Look at these drone counts right next to each other. Look at these army counts right next to each other as well. Impact staying on the defensive, has a great spread of Overlords on both sides, and the fourth base is being taken at basically the exact same time.
Okay.
As if they were each other's sentences.
They're each other's sandwiches. He's going to try to push out. He's going to try to push in over here.
We take our fourth bases at the exact same time.
Sandwiches. He's coming in now. I just don't think Lucira can break him. It seems like we're going to have this endless skirmish over here in the middle of the map, a little bit more towards Impact's side.
This is where you know someone is adding a Spire. Because our wonderful observer Shine has not let the production tab go on in quite some time. So, like, when you're on Roach Ravager for this long, if suddenly Mutas pop out, it really can
get
throw a hiccup in your
blindsided.
plans. But of course, there are ways to play around it. You throw down a Hydralisk Den, so then you have like upgraded ground units that just win in a straight up fight. That Death Ball type style we've seen Dark use.
Okay, this is what we needed to see here. A couple Roaches coming in here, countering, getting these Queens. And you can see he's just going to avoid, whenever there's too many Roaches, he just runs somewhere to see if he can't get damage off. Elsewhere, coming in over here, he might try to get this Queen, possibly some more of these drones. But Lucira has to be careful because right now Impact is slowly pushing towards his third base, and if he loses that, it's going to be horrible.
Well, Impact pushing really strongly right now. Biles going down all over the place.
He's identified he can actually mow down a lot of these Ravagers, so he just tries to skirt in there.
Oh, look at this huge concave by Lucira, though. Trying to get on top of the Ravagers. Quite a few taking damage. Roach is actually behind the Ravagers. That's not how it's supposed to go. Impact losing a bunch of his expensive units right now.
Yeah, Lucira's continuing to chase him back. He's actually in superior supply right now. Looking at the worker count right now, it's 48 to 53 due to those Roaches coming in there, taking out some of those workers. But still, it seems like innovation, or not innovation, what am I talking about? Lucira is actually pushing up over towards the third. This game has been seesawing back and forth.
Suddenly from the high ground, a bunch of siege tanks kill all the roaches
I
and
know.
ravagers.
We go back to Lucira's main, and it's just dropped with all these innovation infantry units.
Innovation eliminates both Zergs after already being in the round of 16 SOS advances. Wow, that's so crazy.
Well, he's probably going to be able to get this hatchery. There's not a good angle that Impact can come in here. I think Impact actually overextended a little bit in this game, that for a good amount of it, he had a pretty solid lead. He takes his hatch out now. And when we're this far along in this game, it's actually pretty disastrous if you lose one of your main production facilities like that.
This is a pretty masterful game coming out of Lucira right now, and you consider
Really
how many
is.
times he's lost his third base. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, by any other rule set, we would expect that Impact should be able to close this out. But Lucira is a fighter. He's hanging on.
Impact kills off some of the drones at that third base, kind of hiccuping the income, but of course losing your own base is a little bit more painful for him. Doesn't really have that economy. In fact, we haven't really seen any additional techs. I figured by now someone would try to switch it up, but the amount of aggression that Lucira has been showing back and forth across this map, I guess, is tying Impact's hands. And how do you come back from this point? Looks like he wants to try to do that through harassment.
Well, I guess that's the only thing he can do, right? This army over here for Lucira is a little bit clunky, as is Impact's, but he seems to be doing a little bit of a better job just engaging those workers up there at the top. A lot of these corrosive biles, by the way, connecting on Lucira's army.
A lot throughout. Like the big first push when he was trying to get to the third base, a ton of biles were hitting his back line, but things weren't quite dying. And you can hit as many biles if you want, but if it doesn't end up killing anything, then you know, what have they really done?
As you can see, the roaches are coming in now. Another good surround here by Lucira, and it looks like this fourth base is going to be denied now.
He's got way too many roaches at the moment. A ton of biles going down, trying to get that cost efficiency. Yeah.
That's it. He's going to kill too many Ravagers over here. GG, Lucira wins game number 1.
Really good play coming out of Lucira in this game. Very well-deserved victory, losing that third base twice, but not going all in, not being crazy. No. Even when he had a roach advantage, I'm like, oh, I think, you lose your third base, you have 40 roaches against like 25. Why don't you go attack? But he's like, no, I don't want to take damage from lings.
Yeah.
And he just kind of pulls it together and wins. So we see that Lucira still has a ton of skill. Yeah, you had a rough match against Innovation, but it seems like ZBT is his Achilles heel at the moment. Doing a great job in this ZVZ, though, against Impact.
Let's see how Lucira does in game number 2. He just has to win one more game, but then he has to go up against SOS, the 2-time world champion, possibly the smartest Protoss we've ever seen.
Yeah. And will he be able to take him down? We're not... I mean, it's hard to say, really, because, again, Lucira is having a hard time specifically against Terran, and if you're having a hard time against Terran, then you will never beat Innovation.
Yeah.
As he is the epitome.
In the upper left, in the blue.
Lucira.
In the upper right, in the red, he is
Dead Pixels. Impact.
That song is so funny. I just keep trying to think of lyrics.
Oh, yeah, the Michael
It's like-
Jackson song. Yeah.
Mouses, keyboards, I will kill your overlords.
Oh, my God. It's too tempting to not
It's
try to
too
come up with
tempting.
something. Okay. We have both players getting their hatches up here, pulls and extractors at different times.
Yeah.
Not much else to say, Artos.
No,
This is a Zerg versus Zerg, and we look at the production tab.
Woo!
Yippee!
Let's not bring the production tab to StarCraft Brood War. Not that it's bad in StarCraft 2, it's just...
Well, there's definitely a right way and a wrong way to present RTS, and I think that having absolutely all information out there all the time, you're not really building that much of a story. I mean, sometimes the shock and surprise that the players experience in games where they're thrown off by certain tech patterns or the ambiguity of what the supply is after you've had several fights like that. In some ways, it can make the viewing experience a little bit more pleasurable if you don't just have all the information right there. If everybody's kind of speculating the same way the player is.
Well, both ways are tried and tested and proven, really. StarCraft
Yeah.
1 and 2. And I like them the way that they are, both of them, being very different in those ways as well.
Sure.
So, Hot 6, of course, the greatest sponsor for esports of all
ever.
time. They
Pour
have
it on your
sponsored-
Cheerios, guys.
Dude, they have sponsored so much in Korea for esports, it's actually crazy.
Come down to Korea, get a Hot 6.
Everyone gets Hot 6 here. Really, when I think about it, like everyone drinks Hot 6 as a.
If you go out drinking, get a vodka and Hot 6.
Yes. Or a beer and Hot 6 if that's what you're into.
Yeah. Or an orange juice and Hot 6. I mean, it just kind of depends. For all those straight edge kids out there,
Yeah.
the X's on the backs of their hands.
Is that a thing?
It was. I don't know if it still
An
is.
X on the back of your hand, what does that mean?
That you're like straight edge.
But it's like an X, wouldn't you just have like a line?
No, that's a good point.
I draw
Yeah,
like 3
that's a very
Wolverine
good
claws on the back of my hand. Like, whoa, you're straight edge. I'm like, no, I'm Wolverine.
As this game goes on, we're really waiting to see what the definitive tech patterns are. If either player wants to be aggressive, if anybody wants to take a third.
That's a pretty quick layer coming out of Impact at the moment. Going for a Warren as well as +1 range attack. Be getting that roach speed very quickly, no doubt.
And let's go ahead and just see what exactly Lucera is going to do here.
Yeah, he's not
We're
doing
kinda-
a whole
We're
lot.
kind of waiting for him to show. Okay, he's getting a layer now.
Yeah. This is kind of weird.
Yeah, I'm curious to see how this goes. He is up one game, so he can do something a little bit out there. See if he can't just throw Impact off this game.
Yeah, but a lot of the time, what we'll end up... I think that, well, Impact took a very quick layer. It seems like Lucera is doing the slower version of what Impact is doing. Because a lot of the times, if you don't have both players going to layer quickly, you have one of them taking a very quick third and the other one going up into the layer more quickly and getting the +1 in roach speed more quickly. But this third is not particularly fast, and the layer is slower than Impact, so I kind of like where Impact's at, Tasteless. He's got
Yeah,
everything
I agree.
Lucera has, but faster.
That's
What-
right. Now we see Impact going ahead and taking his hatch down there. And yeah, I think Impact's not in a bad spot this game, Artosis.
Oh,
He's
seems
definitely
fine.
going to have an edge with that missile attack upgrade finishing so quickly.
Yeah, and that speed, he can actually be on the map with his roaches. By the way, what do you think about Frost coming back? This is an old classic.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah?
We'll just have to wait and see. I'm always a little bit quiet on new maps just because I just want to see what people do. I'm all about having new maps or bringing new maps back in different iterations of the game.
Well, we did have Frost around.
Just waiting for Steps of War, Artosis.
Yeah. We had Frost, like, at BlizzCon even, right? So
you might be right.
Because I remember the Dark, that's where Bjorn won the final game against Dark, if I recall correctly. So yeah, I'm sure the Terran players are pretty happy about this. And the way that you can kind of push into Zerg. Kind of interesting to see the way that maps are done here.
Dude.
Ooh, a Nidus.
A Nidus butt.
Nidus butt.
It's a Nidus butt. Now, will this work? I'm trying to see where the okay. There's one overlord at the very, very top right that Lucera has that he could use to bring that in here.
All right, Queen's coming down, has those transfuses to try to keep these roaches alive. With that very quick +1 in speed, though, Impact gets to dictate this battle very well. A ton of transfusions going down, but this is a bigger roach count right now for Impact.
However, Impact is close to the production point, and this angle right now is very good for Lucera. And the fact that he's going to lose a lot of these roaches may have to run all the way back home. This Nidus play could be huge. Did he
Canceled.
He canceled it?
I believe so. Wasn't it right there? It was like in the natural. I think he canceled it when the attack came so he could make more roaches. We've seen a lot of canceled Niduses today.
All right.
Two canceled Niduses. That's a lot, though.
That's a lot. Okay, I'm
least
sorry.
it's not-
I actually did not catch that he canceled that right
Who
away.
was doing
so-
those Niduses the other day in Super Tournament? Wasn't it Solar? And he, like, it would get scouted, then you'd try to pour, like, 5 of them down, none of them would work, and then you just stop. It's like
Yeah.
okay, well, that was like 1,000 gas.
However, Lucera did drive Impact back in that fight.
Yeah.
Next missile attack coming here for Impact. Always keeping an edge in that sense.
Okay, so these guys ending up in a kind of similar spot at the moment.
This can happen a lot in ZVZ. Now, the fact that he's pushing with the queens means I think Lucera is going to try to possibly end this game. Problem is it's been spotted. It does take the queens a while to get over there.
Yeah.
Impact should be able to get a decent setup.
You know, he's spending some money on Ravagers. Ravagers are an interesting thing in the early game of ZVZ because if you're making Ravagers, that does cost quite a bit of money. Your opponent can overwhelm with Roaches sometimes. 4 Ravagers here, though, will give him some Corrosive Biles. Will those end up hitting?
This is a pretty ambitious move here by Lucera.
It is.
Keep in mind the Corrosive Biles can connect pretty quickly with the queens when they're off creep as well.
That's true. And the queens are not going to be able to retreat.
Yeah, that's very true. Okay, he's just going to go for it. I'm not sure this is going to work. This does not look like anything that should work here from Lucera's side.
That concave is pretty insane right now coming out of Impact. There are these queens helping out, though. Don't forget about that. It is a pretty solid Roach count, but already he's just
matter. I think never in a million years are you going to break that. GG. That was just bad.
Never in 2 million years.
Yeah, that's... to hell with it. 3 million years Sartosis. That's just, there's no way you can break that. Everything that was over there for Impact was connecting with the Roaches of Lucera. We're going to have a different game there, or different game here in game number 3. One of these two is going to get eliminated. I'm not sure who's going to take it. I thought that was kind of an odd way for Lucera to build up to that moment.
Yeah, it was
like,
odd.
Do we really normally
Well, I think
ever
he wanted
see that?
a Nidus so hard, but when he had to cancel, right, he was like making a bunch of queens to go through that Nidus as well. When he had to cancel it, he's like, well, I have a lot of Roaches. Maybe I can go kill, I guess. But no, it takes a while to get over there. It's tough. And, of course, the rallies are right there.
On map number 3, it's going to be Whirlwind. One of these two players is about to be the first to be eliminated from the GSL Code S. SOS is ready and waiting in our final match. Let's get this going. In the upper right, in the blue, he is
Lucera.
in the upper left, in the red, he is
Dead Pixels. Impact.
Lucera is rushing. 4-player map. Very fast rush.
Can't say I blame him.
Oh, you may as well. It's a hatchery first, coming out of his opponent.
He is also scouting, just so happens to be where his opponent's at.
And his opponent is so happening not to scout where his opponent's at.
So this could go very well for these for this rush here for Lucera Artosis.
Definitely could. Pulled a single drone, 2 drones off gas. Okay, looks like it's just going to be Speedlings. Sometimes you do get the Bane all-ins with this, but... Playing it a little bit different here is Lucera getting a queen as well, right off the bat.
Well, I'm curious how exactly he's going to engage this here. Does he just go right for the hatch? Does he want to try to get in there and get workers?
Well, his speed is just so fast that he can run around for days and days with this many wings.
Yeah, pretty much.
And of course, with the queen coming out pretty quickly, can kind of get either his economy back on track or turn it into an all-in. Looks like a hatchery's going to be taken.
He's gearing up to take a hatch over here.
Yeah.
Which means he might try to just go into a normal game, like just start out ahead and just keep that lead, close it out.
If you are SOS, who are you hoping wins this?
Oh, I think Lucera. I think if you're SOS, you're definitely going to be okay against Lucera. But at the same time, I think SOS is so confident he probably doesn't really care who he's up against.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, Innovation's pretty scary, but most other players, I think SOS can usually run circles around.
That's fair. Looks like a spine going to be going up in the main base right now. Impact's hatchery could just be sacrificed.
Yeah, well, he might have to just give this up. And it's quite annoying because you're just cutting your production in half. The queen is almost out, but this is a lot of damage on this hatchery. It looks like the queen should get out just barely in time.
Yeah,
and he cancels it. Because even if it got out, he'd just go kill it anyways.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, runs away perfectly there. Doesn't take any extra damage. Gets into this main base, but with the spine coming in, his speed's going to be finishing. You know, he sees the Baneling Nest, so he has to make one at home. No reason for him to really stay.
Yep.
I like that he chose an Overlord to make there, by the way.
Yeah, that was all these little subtle things, but it does pay off. The drone's going to come in here again. Now, this is a good move here by Lucira. He wants to keep that drone out for as long as possible because the current crisis right now for Impact is that he needs a second hatchery. You can't really compete on one hatch against two hatch the longer the game goes on.
Certainly you cannot. Making some banelings right now so he can retake this natural. His hatchery, of course, going to be so much later than his opponent's. Kind of rough. Lucira is playing a very solid ZVZ series.
Yeah, he really is.
Oh, look at those 2 lings hidden.
See, this is so smart.
Yeah, it is.
And, I mean, there's a lot of different things he could do with that. I mean, does he try to run in the main? I think that might be tipping your hand a little bit too much. But
Well, he's morphing them so early. It's not like he's going to catch drones, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Unless he keeps them back there the entire time. Oh, look at this.
Oh, okay.
Where did those come from?
Look at that.
So far, so good. Hitting this queen. These lings cannot come down this ramp until these banelings have been dealt with. Oh,
Ooh.
nice. Actually gets that right up there.
Yeah, he might get this queen as well. He's really trying.
And he gets it. Very nicely done. Lucira looking good.
Lucira's doing a fantastic job so far in this game, really eking out every single advantage he can. Even gets in and scouts this super fast layer.
Yeah, he's already got his Roach Warren building here. I believe he has a healthy amount of drones back at his second base. This hatchery not yet done for Impact. Impact hanging on for dear life.
I would imagine that likely this was a Spire plan, but now that it's been scouted, can you really go mutas on such a low economy? And I mean, I guess maybe it could have been something else like a Baneling all-in as well. Like with a Nidus, like something like...
sure, yeah.
I don't know. I feel like he might have to do something crazy, but having it scouted, like maybe just back up, get your Roach speed, try to play a normal game.
Maybe. I guess you're kind of playing from behind, but you're hoping that you can stabilize and just be stronger in the late game, make better decisions.
Yeah, it could be. You can play like a defensive style. Maybe get up eventually into lurkers or something like that. Play that super long game.
He's trying to edge in. Banelings are zoned in a pretty good way, along with the Spine Crawler here. You can't. I don't think Lucira can really get in unless Impact were to completely screw up. And now the Roaches are being produced, and there is a Nidus already.
Okay. So this is going to be an all-in, probably. Well, I mean, obviously, coming out
This
of
is a macro Nidus, Sartosis.
a macro.
This
Nidus.
is a micro game Nidus.
It's so he can expand to the bottom right.
Yeah.
Clearly. Wants to send his drones down there ASAP.
He's keeping him back. Oh, my God, they're both
good
making
job.
Niduses.
Ooh. Oh, that's hilarious.
Oh, my God, that's so weird.
I wish that we could see like little X-rays on the map of the Roaches passing each other in Niduses as
what
they
if
pop out the other side.
What if the two Nidus worms get a concussion traveling through the ground?
Oh my God. What if the two Niduses get made next to each other?
He's going to get in. He's going to get in. Oh, hello. He sees it.
This is really funny.
Okay, here it is. The Nidus is starting.
Okay, what's going to pop out of here? Some queens coming out immediately.
Oh, drones coming down here.
Oh,
he's going to try to push.
Oh my God. Get back in! Oh!
He's going to kill it. All
Kill
right,
the
there we go.
mouth!
Okay. Botched Nidus there. Now, is it going to be the moment where we see the other Nidus used here? Looks like he's set up. He could Nidus the other Nidus.
Oh my God. So he can Nidus while he Niduses?
Yeah. You can Nidus while you Nidus.
And if there's any units left in there and he kills it, that's painful.
Okay, Spire starting here as he's trying to make an alternative tech path. He doesn't see.
No, he doesn't.
He doesn't know.
Does anyone else think the Nidus needs more vision?
Okay.
Your butt, not your mouth.
He's going to try to load in here.
Okay, a lot of Roaches coming out. Ooh, this is very, very painful. Impact may just be dying ending up here.
I think you might be right, Artosis. A lot of these queens coming up here to try to help defend. It's 5 versus 3, one Baneling coming down, and it does connect with the bottom Roaches. The drones have been pulled. More Roaches, though, being rallied out, and I think that's going to be it. I think Lucira has done it in what is a pretty big upset in this ZVZ.
He's done a great job throughout this series, dealing a ton of damage. 12 drones already falling. The drone count so low right now.
That's it. GG! Lucira wins and is going up against SOS in our final match.
Super painful there for Impact, winning just a single game tonight, being eliminated right out of the group. And he's been playing very strongly lately. I'm not just blowing smoke here. Anyone who's been watching BSL can see this kid is on fire. He's been doing well in the ladder, but here tonight in GSL, unfortunately, he was a dud.
Yeah, Impact unable to perform here.
Yeah.
Lucira can Nidus while he's Nidused.
Yeah, that was kind of wild seeing Double Nidus play.
Yeah. Wow. Well, Lucira is so close to moving on to the round of 16. He hasn't really made as much of a big splash here in the GSL. And this is a tall order for him to take on SOS, the player who's pretty much consistently always been one of the best around.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to go to a short break. When we come back, our final best of 3 in tonight's GSL Code S.
Life is now.